Hello there and welcome. Thank you very much for clicking on this video. My name is Nuno. If you're new to the channel, I hope you enjoy what I've got on offer here. Today I want to talk about the relationship between overthinking and being a visionary. This is a subject that is dear to me. I find that overthinkers and visionaries are very often coincide in the very same person, right? And today I want to even read to you some quotes that I think are interesting for reflection, okay, and make us realize how actually overthinking doesn't need to have the bad rep that it always ends up having. So if you bear with me, so yeah, I mean, normally we love the term visionary because we associate it with, thinking outside the box, seeing beyond the usual boundaries, the usual possibilities. And yes, and really, we think of someone totally tapped into their imagination, being able to materialize, being able to bring something to fruition. And that's a wonderful quality to have. At the same time, the darker side, not altogether dark though, is that side of, the person that has all those visions, but does not nurture them, or is too afraid to take responsibility for whatever vision they do have that they think could actually, make a little or big impact on the world. They don't have enough self-esteem. They need external validation for someone to tell them, hey, do it. And sometimes they're still so resistant that even so, they will not do it just because they cannot take that leap. They cannot take that step. To me, that means they're not ready yet. Everything, but the timing is very important. And so I think it's good to realize if that's the case, that there's issues there, and those issues must be addressed first because they're too much of a blockage. They need to be removed. They are barriers to a process that would be a lot more natural, more organic, because a creative person, despite the resistance that is so present, because I think the creative process does have that function of pushing us to face the resistance, to face the dark, to deal with it, to turn on the light and make something possible, make something out of nothing, right? It could be that you have a book to write. It could be that you have a painting to paint. It could be that you have a meal to make. It could be that you have a difficult conversation to have. It could be that you want to extend your support to a particular cause that is calling you and something that you really care about, and for some reason or other you end up paying attention to that voice, overprotective voice, falsely protective voice in your mind that tells you, don't do it, or this or that, and invites you to keep on making excuses because those excuses have the function of keeping you in familiar territory, even if that familiar territory is so convoluted and such a source of really unhappiness and misery for you. But none of that stuff is to be judged. We all are where we are. I mean this with all my heart because I've been, for years trapped in or locked into certain ways of thinking that I almost had like a fidelity to certain patterns, an attachment, as they say, that, I would have, let's say, the intellectual discernment, like I could grasp intellectually how if I did that would, ensue, that would be the result, the consequence, and yet, when you're not ready, you're not ready, and that is fine, okay? There's no rush here. There's no point in getting impatient because there's a line that I love that I believe is from the Course in Miracles, which is, Only infinite patience produces immediate results. So when we're feeling so impatient, having an anxiety attack, or feeling so perfectionistic that you just, oh no, it's not ready yet. Oh no, it's not perfect yet. Oh no, it's not, it's not decent enough to be shown to the public, or whatever. It's not meant to be shared yet. And there's like a screaming voice telling you that. The fact that it's so loud, that right there is a sign that might not be the voice offering you the best advice, because the voice offering you the best advice is often the small, almost silent whisper, and yet it is unmistakable. It comes. You just have that inner knowing that, right, okay, this is, if you're minimally connected, okay, to yourself, to your heart, to the essence of who you are, to that supportive, higher nature that you carry within, if you're, just a little bit connected to that, you will get a sense of like, right, this is, I'm being invited to go this way and not that other way. I'm being invited or suggested. The attitude there is more like, I thought you might like to know. You might want to try this. It's a very gentle voice, okay? There's no shouting there. It's a very, just as it is unmistakable, it is ever so soft, and I think that is because it comes from the invisible realm, right? It comes from the realm where there is no noise, to put it simply. So anyway, back to my point. So in this video, I want to kind of bring together the idea of being an overthinker and a visionary, and kind of show how those are not necessarily totally dissimilar or in total opposition, okay? And the reason for that is because, sometimes we carry both temperaments, okay, at the very same time within ourselves, because we are humans, we are paradoxical, we have this contradictory nature, a little bit of this, but also a little bit of that. On the one hand, this, but yes, but then again, on the other hand, that. So, and somehow, little by little, once we remove the barriers that totally block our clear discernment, our clarity, really, and also our focus, and therefore our determination in, as I said, bringing something to fruition. Once we identify those barriers, those problems, but we don't identify with them, we identify them in order to, help us precisely detach from those eye shutters, and and instead connect to that sense of wonder that always brings, a taste for the possible, and sometimes for the impossible as well. But before we get to the possible, and certainly the impossible, we must get to the necessary, okay? And so there is a vision hidden, one or two or more, but let's just talk about one particular vision that you might have right now at this very moment. So I'm talking to you, and the moment I mention you've got a vision, you know exactly the one I'm referring to, because it just pops to your mind, okay? And if that is the one, you're like all ears, okay, right now. So hidden though it may be under all the clutter in your mind, under all the noise, okay, intuitively, this is the thing that you are going to tap into, okay? Now, you can use the overthinking as a resource, okay? Because you can know in advance, okay, that whatever thinking might be needed to carry this one out, you will have the ability, because that's, us overthinkers, we cannot claim not to have the ability to reflect. And what that gives us is the ability to choose the right vision, the right thing, okay? It's so interesting because, I think most of us overthinkers, we have many fantasies. I often talk about this because I've been someone all my life. Well, I mean, I'm an idealist and I'm a dreamer, and I've got all kinds of dreams and projects and projections, and some of them are fantasies because they're just not possible. Some of them have their dosage of ego, when we imagine certain pictures like that usually are perfect, and we are usually shining in those pictures, and we are loved by everyone because we have reached that particular thing. And, it's just so self-aggrandizing, really, that it usually corresponds to a fantasy. It's not usually the vision, okay? Often the vision that we have, and this is a big contradiction, that sort of redirects us to what our real life path is, is often about things that we think we don't care that much about. We are not that invested in, okay? So, many times in my life, I've been involved with projects that, they were helpful, but for me, they were for other people, but they were just not a big deal. I was just so neutral about them. I was just so, they were like the opposite of glamour to me, so I was like, yeah, sure, yeah, whatever, okay. But I just did them without the over fantasizing, I would say. And if I had any overthinking, let's say that the thinking was not over at that point, meaning it was not in excess. It was just the right thinking for that particular thing. So that's also something that I want to highlight. It literally has just occurred to me that sometimes, it's not about a big vision. It's just a little something that we get that kind of intuitive hit. And if we manage to elude the excuses in our mind that come up, I think we can we can succeed, But at any rate, let me just read to you some of the ideas here. So, and as I said, the main point for me here is overthinking and being a visionary, they're not that separate, okay? They often coexist in the same person. And I don't want you to say, oh yeah, I'm an overthinker. Oh yeah, like turn that into an identity. And then that in itself becomes an excuse not to act on what you are supposed to act on, because it's your deepest desire, right? So, bear with me. Right, this is a quote from Susan Cain, okay? And she says, introverts are often deep thinkers and may overthink situations because they are very attuned to nuances and possibilities. I am a bit of an introvert sometimes, or at least at certain parts of the day, and I clearly consider myself a deep thinker and an overthinker. And it is true, I identify with what it says here, like being attuned to nuances, to possibilities, to subtle changes, okay? In the same way that I am attuned to people's energies and subtle changes in people's humor, in their mood, in, all that kind of stuff. So, yes. So, I like this quote because it's like, yeah, we overthink situations, but the reason for that is that we are very attuned to nuances and possibilities. So we pay attention to detail. We have a quality of attention to offer, okay? That I think if we're overthinking about something that does not need overthinking and it's just, you know, making us dizzy because, we just get into those circular internal dialogues. It's because we're not devoting as we could, okay, that attunement, that quality of attention to other people. So there's something there that we might not be giving and that we could be giving. So something to bear in mind. Now, well, this is a quote from Brené Brown. She says, "Perfectionism is a form of overthinking that keeps us from being truly creative." Yes, we all know that, but I'm trying to get to a different point here. Not just the point of overthinking and perfectionism and being sometimes paralyzed by fear or even by too high expectations or whatever it is. We all know that, but I'm trying to extract something more relevant for this context here today. So, yeah, this quote here by Stephen Pressfield, who wrote The War of Art. He says, "Resistance is insidious and can make visionaries overthink and second guess their creative impulses." So that's, again, more of the same. And along those lines as well, James Clear in Atomic Habits, he says, "Overthinking often stems from a lack of action. Visionaries should focus on taking small steps rather than getting caught in endless planning." I couldn't agree more with this sentence, even though it's still along the same lines of like overthinking being a problem. And we're trying to relativize here and get that, visionaries are often forward-thinking people, quite imaginative, okay, who are yet looking for ways to put that potential for giving such good quality of attention to things and to people, putting that into the right channel, let's say, okay? So, yeah, let's focus on some of the potential benefits of overthinking. This is a quote here by Daniel Kahneman. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. "Slow thinking is often more thorough and careful, leading to more nuanced understanding and potentially more creative solutions." So there's an equation here of overthinking with slow thinking, okay? We have Susan Cain again. She says, "Introverts who overthink can gain profound insights and a deeper understanding of their own experience and emotions." That's right. So the counterpart of overthinking sometimes is that you get a very deep knowledge of yourself and certainly a very deep knowledge of other people. So you are the right person for people to come to and seek support in your ability to offer a vision, because your level of understanding is so deep and so quick even. Okay. Yeah, Malcolm Gladwell, he says, deep analysis, often associated with overthinking, can lead to a heightened attention to detail and a better grasp of complex situations. I like this bit, a better grasp of complex situations. I love that because nowadays in the world we have very complex situations. We need all the overthinkers that we can possibly gather, okay, to think through, situations that require thinking and not just acting, okay? This is by Edward de Bono. He says, overthinking encourages critical examination of ideas, fostering a more comprehensive and well-rounded approach to problem solving. I love that, a critical examination. Critical spirit. Yes, absolutely. That can be so, so useful. So, yes, and well, this one by Mark Manson, I think highlights what I was just saying earlier on. Deep introspection and overthinking can lead to greater self-awareness and a clearer understanding of personal values and properties, right? And priorities. And again, Brené Brown, she says, overthinking can foster empathy. So empathy as deeply associated, linked to overthinking. So overthinking can foster empathy by prompting individuals to deeply consider and understand others' perspectives and experiences. I like that. So sometimes this is the case, right? We overthink with our own stuff because there are many emotions involved, sometimes grief, sometimes trauma, all of those things. Great. So it's a problem for us. However, what is that very same quality is a very useful quality for a teacher, a coach, a therapist, an educator, a counselor, someone just, wanting to give support to others. They have a very, I think they have a great ability to synthesize. They grasp immediately what is the crux of a complex situation, and it can be of very good help and support to others. So basically, by way of conclusion for today, I think the point of balance here is, overthinking, which can be so painful when applied to oneself, can be of extreme use, okay, when we are supporting others with their visions, okay? And if we manage to remove the barriers that we do need to remove, that sort of cloud our clear thinking, our own ability to think deeply about important matters will also be of great support to us, right? To our own vision, and we will be able to nurture that unique vision, so very own. We will be able to nurture it to the best of our abilities. And that's my invitation to you today. I want to thank you very much for watching. It was a bit of a ramble today, but I hope it made you at least reflect, consider a little bit if you might be ready to start investing a little bit more in that dream, because life is passing. That's what's true as well. And we're not here to stay cozy all the time. Or trapped all the time. It's true that everything happens in cycles and in seasons. Sometimes we need to slow down, and other times we do need to speed up. So either way, I hope you find yourself in the right mode, in a mode that is aligned with, with that flow state that we all benefit from when we're deep into it. I'm sending you much love from here, and I will catch up with you the next time. Thank you very much. Let me know in the comments if this is of use to you, and if you have any other suggestions, anything that you would like me to address here on this channel. Thank you for watching. All the best. Much love. Bye.